In this video, I'm going to show you how you can install my custom fan curve utility onto your Quanta S51G server. In a previous video, I went over this Quanta S51G server that I picked up on eBay. I actually picked up 3 of these. It looks like they still have 7 left in stock if anybody's interested in that. But essentially, it is a storage server. So this allows you to run 12 in a 1U chassis. It allows you to run 12 3.5-inch hard drives. And one of the things with this server is it's not that it's necessarily outdated, but there's not a lot of information kind of out there about it. It wasn't a super popular server. And so one of the things I noticed with my servers at least is the fan control wasn't optimal. What I was seeing a lot of when I looked at IPMI was a lot of, the CPU direct fans were spinning really high, but then all the chassis fans weren't spinning at all, which are right next to the CPU fans. So I went ahead and I created a custom service that you can run, and it will basically periodically pull the CPU temps, and it will adjust itself for optimal airflow while doing its best to be very quiet. I run the Arctic S4028 6Ks, which are the 6,000 RPM fans. I'll link those down in the description as well. And with those fans with this server, it is pretty quiet. Even at full throttle, it's pretty quiet, but you don't necessarily need to be running them full speed all the time. So this service will kind of take care of that for you. It will basically ramp them up to 93% when it needs to, and it will step them down all the way down to 25% based on CPU temp. If we hop on over, we can see I've got 3 of these systems running right now. 2 of them already have this installed, 1 of them doesn't. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to install it. But before I do that, I just kind of wanted to pop these up, and you can see this one, the CPU temp's currently at 45 degrees. This one, it's at 43 degrees. They'll hover between like that 43-45 range. And this one's at 58 degrees. So this is the one that I have not installed my custom fan curve utility on yet. So we're going to go ahead and do that in this video. So first thing you can do is you can pull it up and show in a box, or you can do SSH. And I run HiveOS on these, but this will work with pretty much any Linux distribution. Mainly tested with Ubuntu and Debian. But if you head on over to my mining tools GitHub, there is a node utilities folder. If you hop in here, it has the install script for this. All you need to do is just copy this install script and head on over here, right click. You can do paste as plain text, and we can hit enter. This will download the installer script. It'll make sure you have any dependencies installed. It basically just requires IPMI tool, and it'll go through. It'll just take a moment. It'll install it. Alright, and so we can see that it has installed it now. So to verify that it's running, we're just going to do systemctl status, and it's going to be S150G fan control.service. And it looks like it did start it up, so we should be good. So now we've got a couple options. We can check the temperature from here directly, or we can hop on, if we're using HiveOS, we can hop on over to HiveOS. It was at 58 degrees. It's now at 56. It will be dropping itself. It should be dropping itself fairly quickly. And if we wanted to check it from like Ubuntu or even from here, we could do IPMI tool sensor. This will give us a list of the sensors, and we can see that CPU temp's now at 52, so it is dropping pretty quick. It just hasn't reported yet back to the HiveOS dashboard. If we run this thing again, we can see we're now at 51, and so it's going to bring itself down, and it's going to kind of stabilize. And what we can see here is all of those fans are running pretty much even with each other, right? So we're getting maximum airflow through our 1U chassis. And because this is a Linux system service, it will automatically run at startup. It'll continue to run whenever you want. If for any reason you wanted to turn it off, you could do command as simple as systemctl instead of status. You could do disable if you wanted to turn it off. And if you want the system, the BIOS to basically take back over, all you have to do is disable it and reboot the system, and then the BIOS will take everything back to how it would normally work without the fan control running. But this fan control will run for you. It'll continuously monitor your CPU, and it should stabilize those temps for you. Even when we're mining, I tried mining with these, and it maintained those temps around, it was between 60 and 70 degrees, mining Varus coin on all threads. So on this system, that was all 16 threads. I also tried it using all 20 threads on another system. But that's really all you need to do. And if you're ever curious about what that actually does, you can hop on over to the GitHub, open up this fan control script, and here you can see the thresholds. So it's got, when it's at 80 degrees, greater than 80 degrees, it's going to set that fan speed to 60, which this is on a scale of 64. So 60 is approximately like 93%. And then here we can see it's going to step itself down by essentially 4 each time. Based on every 5 degrees, the speed's going to step down. And we got 80, 75, 70, 65. We've got that all the way down to 30 degrees. Which it should never run this cool. In the event it is running this cool for some reason, your fans are only going to spin at 25%. So like 25 to 30% if it's that cool. I definitely recommend, if you're doing, this will work with the stock fans. Just make sure that they are 4-pin PWM connectors. When I got my server, the PWM wire was cut off on all of them. So what I did is I replaced them with the other fans, which I actually have linked right here. So if we pull this up, these are the Arctic fans that I run. And you can get these in a 5-pack, which will be sufficient for the whole server. That server has 5 fans all right next to each other, and they all are 4-pin. They're an easy swap out. You don't need any proprietary connections or anything. These are what I recommend. These are 6,000 RPM. They also do sell a 12,000 or 15,000 RPM variant. This is the 15,000. I'm sure it is extremely loud. The 6,000 keep it plenty cool, and they do not scream at all. Even if they're cranked up to 6,000, if the RPM's up at 6,000, it's still fine. So if we just check the temp, here we can see, yeah, we're at 44 degrees now. So this has settled itself in. Probably hasn't reported fully yet. But yeah, we're sitting right at that 44 to 45 degree mark. So we're good. But that's it for this video. Just kind of wanted to show you guys how to get that installed. And if you want to tweak it, you can certainly tweak the script. In fact, I can show that to you real quick. Once it's downloaded, that script will exist at your root folder under this Quanta S51G fan control. And so at any time, if you want to tweak this, you could certainly do that. So if we do nano quanta, just do nano / quanta S51G fan control .sh, and you can come in here and you can adjust the temperatures, and you can adjust these numbers as well. These numbers here are the fan bank. You won't want to change those for the server. These are the fan numbers, so if you only wanted to do the CPU fans, you could just do, I think it's 2 and 3, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 1 and 2 or 2 and 3, or just the CPU fans. I like to do all of them, but if you wanted to come in and just control certain fans, you could certainly come in, modify this script on your server, and that would take care of that. Just make sure that on this last one, you do any number between 0x01 and 0x64.